Hey everybody, it's Eric Stevenson coming at you again. Happy Monday or happy end of Monday, whichever makes you smile. Hopefully you're having a good day out there. For whatever reason, today was really a challenge for me in that I am dying to, well, not dying, that's a really insensitive way of saying it. I'm really, really itching to go on a trip somewhere. Honestly, I don't care where. Just I want to go. I want to travel. And I know some people are going to consider that offensive or insensitive because of what we're dealing with, and I understand that, and I apologize. It's just kind of where I'm at. So when I was thinking about what to talk about today, I decided that because I'm itching to travel so much, that I wanted to talk about Key West and why Key West is one of my favorite destinations out there. Cheryl and I had the opportunity to go last December,
18.
give or take 18 months ago now. So actually not last December, the one before that. We went down for 4 or 5 days. Actually, I think it was 5 days, 4 nights, and absolutely fell in love with the area, with the people, the atmosphere, the just the overall vibe of the place. So real quick, I know you guys got other things to do on this Monday evening. The three reasons why I love Key West. Number 3 is the history, the culture. The Hemingway house, the little white house, the Coast Guard cutter Ingham. If you've never taken a tour of that ship or any military ship, if you get down there, take a tour of it. It was absolutely amazing. It was funny. We were walking around, and Cheryl knew that I was in the Navy, and that she knew I was on an aircraft carrier, CV-64 USS Constellation, for anybody that wants to know. But she had no idea, just like most people don't, what the living conditions were really like. Now, granted, a Coast Guard cutter and aircraft carrier is kind of different. It's the difference between, say, a 2-story office building and the Empire State Building. And not because one's Navy, one's Coast Guard, just in sheer size. Looks like dinner's ready.
Almost.
But on the aircraft carrier, 17 stories tall, had 5,000 some odd people on it, 3 football fields long. It was a monster. But the area, my personal area, was not much bigger than the average person's kitchen table. And so we walked through the berthing area. The sleeping area, and on the Ingham, and Cheryl got to see a coffin rack, and our mattresses were literally that thick, and kind of blew her away. And of course, I was like, it is what it is. It's how I lived for 3 years. You get used to it. But so there's the Ingham, the shipwreck museum, which is really cool. I didn't even know about that part of our history until I was there. Of course, the iconic southernmost point, the Big Rock, literally the southernmost point of the U.S. There's a really cool hotel right by there called the Southernmost Beach Resort, I believe. Don't quote me. But a really cool place. They've created their own little beach there. And we got to hang out one afternoon in their bar. And of course, if you know Cheryl, she can't go anywhere without meeting other people from Boston. Like literally, we're sitting at the bar, and she hears a guy's accent from across the bar. Turns out he grew up like 8 miles from her or something. We're down in Florida. But anyway, so there's a lot of historical things to do, a lot of really cool things. I didn't know much about Ernest Hemingway, except for the fact that he wrote all these books, and to tour, we actually did the tour, and it was so cool. The guy was, I don't know how else to put it, a man whore. He'd be married to one woman, and he would meet his wife's best friend, and a year later, wife number 1 is gone, and and here comes wife number 2. But it was really neat seeing his property, and it's really not that big by today's standards, as far as McMansions or mansions, but and you look around the rest of the island, everybody's basically living in what I grew up calling row homes. Now they're called townhouses, but and your backyard is like a foot by a foot, and he's got this I don't know 3,000 or 4,000 square foot house, and he's got grounds all around. It was really neat, definitely worth the tour.
And cats.
Oh yes, and the cats, the Hemingway cats with their seven toes, 8 toes.
But they're protected.
Yeah, the Hemingway house actually has their own full-time veterinary staff just for these cats. Really interesting. So that's the number 3 reason. The number 2 reason is what everybody thinks of when they think of Key West, is the amazing sunsets. So yes, if you've never been, go down there, go to Mallory Square, grab yourself a pina colada or a beer, or whatever your drink of preference is, and check out the sunset. Definitely worth seeing. There are a couple other places that we went on different days that had a really cool sunset as well, without dealing with the interesting people. Yeah, there was crowded, and there were some undesirables there, and it was but definitely got to go at least once. And to me, from my reasoning, my thought process, the number 1 reason was that their nightlife, their Duval Street. Well, first, they've got 2 breweries in town, and for those of you know that I am absolutely a big fan of breweries. So they've got 2 breweries in town. They've got 2 distilleries in town. Actually, I believe my friend Tommy would be able to tell me for sure, but I think that the Key West Rum Distillery is the oldest distillery in the U.S. But you can do the tour, and they'll give you samplings, and it's really cool. We actually did a mojito class where they actually taught you how to make proper mojitos and to muddle the leaves and everything. It was neat. It was neat. There are a couple of breweries in town, like I said, that had some really good beer. But overall, the nightlife is really fun. Now, for my kids in their 20s, it might not necessarily be the kind of nightlife they want. You know what I mean? There's no, not that I know of anywhere, there are no like clubs that they're pumping out the tech. Well, actually, they don't even call it techno, but the hip hop music. Now I really sound old, but it's not that kind of a vibe. It's much more live music. Let's kick back and sing Margaritaville at the top of our lungs with the most off-key voice we could, but really relaxed guys with their guitars. And now Duval, that's like party central down there. It's nothing but bar after restaurant after bar after bar after bar. But a lot of very different kinds of bars. You got your Irish pubs, you've got your let's call them watering holes. You've got dueling pianos. You've got all kinds of different feels. So pretty much anything you want. It's a really cool place. You can go and you can just kick back and relax on the beach and enjoy the sunset and drink a pina colada, or you can go party your butt off and hear live music from 2 in the afternoon until 2 or 3 in the morning. It's a lot of fun. If you have not been yet, definitely worth the trip. We flew from Philly down to Miami, grabbed a rental car, and we drove the 4 hours down, I believe it was Route 1, to get to Key West. You can also fly into Key West. A lot of times, depending upon where you're from, a lot of times you're going to have to change planes in Miami and take a little hopper down to Key West International. Or you can do what I talked about last week when I was talking about Fort Myers, and fly into Fort Myers and then take the Key West Express from Fort Myers down. It's just a big party boat. You know, you hop on, they got, you know, if I remember correctly, they got live music and they got a bar, so you can just start your vacation 4 hours earlier instead of worrying about having to drive, you know, Route 1 down there. But Route 1 was really cool driving because you're literally, at some points, you know, you're on, you know, a bridge 10, 20 feet above the ground, you know, and mile after mile after mile of nothing but blue ocean. But anyway, enough rambling. If you've been to Key West and I forgot to mention something that's important, leave a comment, you know, let me know what I should have talked about or what I missed or if I was inaccurate. But if you haven't been to Key West, check it out once all this mess is over. It's definitely a fun place to be. Suggestion is just like the rest of Florida, July and August are really warm. And the further south you go, the warmer it gets. So unless you really like 90, 95 degrees and 100% humidity, you might want to avoid it during those couple of months. Personally, December, it was perfect. It was 70 degrees and sunny the whole time we were there. It was absolutely amazing. Anyway, I hope everybody's safe and sound, and have a great night. See ya.